Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. Welcome to episode number 19 of Zero Point Healing Show. And in this show, we are going to discuss about hypnobirthing and how we can use our body's natural wisdom to give birth naturally rather than using any kind of medical interventions or systems and stuff that we have in this modern world. And it's an amazing topic. I just had a conversation with our guest today, and I'm already totally in awe with what hypnobirthing can do. So before I start, I am Vishnupriya. I am a healer myself, certified in multiple different modalities, and this Zero Point Healing platform is something that I've put together for healers and therapists and facilitators who are transforming this world, who are helping this world to become a better place. And this is my passion. So, with that said, if you are a healer or therapist yourself, I invite you to Zero Point Healing. And if you have anything that you can contribute to the world, please do join Zero Point Healing. And if you're interested in this kind of interview with me, you are most welcome. Please contact me. All right, with that being said, I'm moving on to Rashmi, who is our guest today. And she is certified in hypnobirthing, in past life regression, NLP, and so many different certifications that she's going to share with us today. So welcome, Rashmi. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's my absolute pleasure and honor to have a person like you who have journeyed through different healing modalities and so many certifications. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tell us about yourself and how did you get into this world of miracles of hypnotherapy?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me, for reaching out to me. This is so interesting. I've never done anything like this before. I became really interested in hypnosis probably when I was a teenager, even like possibly younger, 10, 11 years old. My dad brought home the book Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. I'm sure everybody is familiar with that. And if you're not, you should read it because it's amazing. And that was from then I thought, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. But I traveled a lot of different paths before I kind of landed back on hypnosis. I thought, okay, well, if I want to do what Brian Weiss does, I have to be exactly like Brian Weiss. So I have to be a psychiatrist first, and then I can do hypnosis. And growing up in Indian family, there was a lot of emphasis on being a physician. And so I went that route. I went to med school in the Caribbean, but it wasn't my path. It was me trying to be what I was supposed to be instead of who I really was. And as much as I want to help and I want to help heal, I just didn't want to help heal that way. I didn't like, oh, there's a medicine for that. Oh, there's a medicine for that with side effects after side effects. And I thought, maybe, in many cases, medicine is needed. Absolutely. But in some cases, healing can take place in other ways without needing a pill. And so I ended up leaving that and coming home, and I just started working in a cannabis clinic, actually doing physician support. And that gave me the revenue to take hypnosis courses. So I started with the first course, and then I kind of saw hypnosis and learning about hypnosis and this healing in general as a tree. Hypnosis is like the main trunk of the tree, but then there's so much you can learn which branches off the tree, and then so much little branches that come off the other things you can learn. So I feel like it's going to be a lifelong learning thing for me. But I started with the general hypnosis course with the NGH and the National Guild of Hypnotists. And then I actually took Brian Weiss's past life regression course. There's a 5-day, I think it's a 5-day course, 4 or 5-day course in Rhinebeck, New York. And that was on my bucket list. The minute he came out, I wanted to start crying. And I'm not that, like, I don't cry in movies. I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand where this emotional reaction was coming from. And while it was a great course, it was huge. It was like 100 or 150 people. So then after that, I took another past life course, Past Life and Life Between Life, a 4-day course. with the NGH, and there were only 2 of us in that course. And so that gave me a lot more hands-on learning and a lot more practice. And the other participant in that course was just amazing. She's become a lifelong friend. Then after that, I think I did the advanced parts therapy and the Simpson protocol. I did neurolinguistic programming somewhere in there, and then some PTSD sensitivity training as well. And then hypnobirthing. Yeah.
Yes, long journey, and that's so wonderful. It just tells us how curious you are to explore this world of alternative therapies and all the magic and miracles that it can create. So let's now talk about hypnobirthing, what that actually means, and how can that help someone who wants to give birth? How can that help someone who wants to give birth naturally?
So hypnobirthing in part is an education course. So it teaches about the interventions and alternatives, natural alternatives. So rather than being induced at a certain time, there are other things the pregnant person can do to help get the birth moving naturally, from walking to spicy foods. There's a whole list of things that's not coming to the top of my head right now. Massage, acupuncture with a professional, of course. So rather than, and having a medical induction actually makes the birth come on very rapidly and forcefully. So then having the induction can then lead to the things that women are conditioned to be afraid of, like the pain. When you allow the birth to progress more naturally, it's gentler. It's not slower, but it's gentler. And so the waves of the contractions are not as intense. It teaches that you don't necessarily need that fetal monitor on 24/7. It doesn't necessarily provide value to have it on all the time. So you could have it on, if you're birthing in the hospital, have it on whenever the fetal heart rate needs to be measured. But you don't have to have it strapped on all the time, and then you're restricted to very little space. So if it's not on, you can go for a walk, you can move around. It goes through all the different interventions and what some alternatives are. Also being checked to see how dilated you are. That's not really an indication of how long the birth is going to take. And so by telling a woman, oh, you're only 3 centimeters dilated, she can feel really disheartened. She can think, well, I've been at it for hours. But that doesn't mean in the next hour that she won't go to 9 centimeters dilated. So it's not really an indication of how the birth is going to move forward, only how it's been progressing thus far. So hypnobirthing is the education component, and then there's the hypnosis component as well, and the relaxation component. And so there's things to help the woman relax. There's also hypnosis to help let go of fears, because we're conditioned to believe birth is going to be this horrendous, terrifying experience. And because we're conditioned to believe that, we make it true. Our subconscious mind is very powerful. So by letting go of those fears, you can kind of understand that birth is natural. Your body knows what to do. Your baby knows what to do. Birth happens every day. Women have been giving birth for thousands of years without all of these interventions. And so hypnosis
Sorry, I think there was an interruption in the connection.
That's okay. Are we still on Facebook Live? Yes.
See.
Okay.
Yes, are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So yes, let's get started. So let's move on to the hypnobirthing part that you're explaining.
Okay. So I explained what the program is. And so then the way it's taught is five 2.5 hour classes once a week. But as I was telling you earlier, if there are some extenuating circumstances, so ideally you take the course between 20 to 35 weeks of pregnancy. Let's say somebody comes in at 36 weeks, you can do the course in like 2 days, kind of an intensive if needed, but usually the Hypnobirthing Institute requires that we get permission to be able to do something like that.
That's amazing. And let me again kind of reiterate what you said about hypnobirthing. It's a 5-week kind of course, which usually a woman who's pregnant can take about 20 to 35 weeks time period when she can get started. And you also mentioned that the course is usually taken with her partner, with the father of the child.
Well, it's up to really the family. Like, families don't necessarily look like traditional families anymore, and it could be that she chooses someone else to be the birthing companion. It could be the father, it could be the mother, it could be somebody else. Who knows, right? But it's for two people: the laboring person, and the person who's going to be with the laboring person in the hospital room or home, wherever they choose to birth.
Okay, so when we are doing this, the client can decide whether she wants to give birth at home. If she wants, so then the laboring person can assist her, and that is also included in the coaching.
It's up really that decision is, there's usually have that made before they come into the course. So whether they want to birth at home with a midwife or whether they want to birth in a hospital, or some cities even have birthing centers. So that isn't something that the hypnobirthing instructors are trained on to advise. That's a really personal decision, and so it's up to them to kind of do their research and see what makes them feel the most comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about what exactly this course contains. You were saying there is hypnosis involved in it, and how do you think the hypnosis in the hypnobirthing actually helps? You were talking about how it releases fears, and we were also discussing about all the movies and everything that we are seeing today, where every time there is a pregnant lady giving birth to a child, we see the pain that they are going through and all the shouting and all the drama that happens. And as you were saying, we are taking in as our belief, and therefore we believe that's how a birth is. Giving birth to a child is a difficult process, it's a painful process, is our belief, and therefore it happens to be truth. So tell us how hypnobirthing and the hypnosis involved in it is actually helping us overcome this fear.
Yeah, so in every class of the course, so every week you would do a different type of hypnosis or the other. And when you sign up for the course, you're also given a recording of the relaxation. So we do that in class, but you're also given the recording ahead of time to listen to. And so that's helping the birthing person just learn how to get into this deep state of relaxation. The more she practices it, the easier it'll be when the time for the birth comes around. There's also hypnosis for letting go of fears, as we talked about. So yes, the conditioning that birth has to be this horrible, painful experience, that you need an epidural, that you need all these medical interventions. So it helps to just let go, because even though we're conditioned to believe these things, we still have our individual fears. So it helps you to let go of whatever those fears are. And all the scripts are actually provided in the educational material as well. So the mom and her birthing companion can go through them together at home, practice them at home. And then there's other scripts as well. One that I like to do is also add in a little bit of self-esteem boost. So just to let them know and feel that, yeah, I can do this, that, I have this within me to be able to do this. Hypnobirthing, really, when it comes down to it, is an empowerment course for the mothers to be, because it's taking back power and taking the control into yourself, as opposed to allowing birth to happen to you.
That's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about your other services and offerings that you have, and tell us a little bit about the Simpson protocol as well. That was
Mhm.
wonderful to hear from you.
Yeah, so I do obviously general hypnosis. So like the weight modification, smoking cessation, anxiety, like mood issues, really anything. I've had people come in for sports enhancement and all kinds of different things, people wanting to unleash their creativity. And then, of course, the past life, the life between life, and advanced parts therapy. And so Simpson protocol, what I was telling you about, was started by this person called Inez Simpson, and she lives in British Columbia, Canada. And what this protocol does is it helps the client get into a really deep state of hypnosis called the Esdale state. Um, and it kind of lets your conscious mind park. And so a lot of people, when they are brought out of this hypnotic trance, they can't remember anything that was said. Some people will remember the very beginning, but because it's such a deep state of hypnosis, your conscious mind really isn't interfering. And then it just goes through healing on all kinds of different levels. So you don't necessarily have to tell the practitioner what you want healed, what the issue is, because it doesn't focus on that particular thing. It's talking to your superconscious mind and saying, superconscious mind, you know why this person has come in today. So is there any healing that needs to take place on the physical level? And you set up the ideomotor responses. So they're saying yes or no with their fingers. They say yes, you say, okay, please heal that now and let me know when it's done. And when it's done, the yes finger will come up and then you move on. Superconscious mind. Does anything need to be healed on the emotional level? And this can take up to 3 hours because you're going through so many different areas where healing can be done. You start with the physical body, the emotional body, spiritual body. You go to the Akashic records, go to karma, you go to past lives, concurrent lives, other dimensions. It's just incredible. And so I was telling you that you can kind of see, like, the client will start twitching a little bit. And in my training course, I was taught that is healing taking place. That's the body letting go of these deep rooted issues. And so I was telling you that I had a client who I did the Simpson protocol with, and she hadn't come in for eczema and allergies, but through the course of our sessions, she had just told me that she has pretty bad eczema. Her allergies are so bad that there's very little that she could eat and enjoy, which made me feel bad because I love food. So we did the Simpson protocol, and in the course of it, I just said, if there's anything that can be healed with the allergies and the eczema, please heal that now. And a week later, she called me and she said, my eczema is gone. And I actually have a medical background, so I can still be a little bit skeptical. And I was amazed. I was blown away. I'm just so happy because it's so nice to be able to help people, to know that you're helping people. Oh, it's still
Sorry.
muted. Oh, that's
Yes,
okay.
I was talking on mute. All right. So what she discussed about now is completely different from hypnobirthing. I don't want you to confuse on that. So the Simpson protocol is completely different service that she offers, which I felt was amazing. So I just wanted her to discuss and tell about that in the show. And that's totally different from hypnobirthing, by the way. All right. So now let's get started with the healing that you have for us.
Okay.
I'm ready to experience. So what she's going to do now is a special healing session for all of us so we can enjoy that. Let's get started.
Okay. So if everybody just wants to relax, find a comfortable place to relax. You can close your eyes. And together, we'll take 3 deep breaths in and out, and in and out, and once more in and out. Good. And you can continue breathing comfortably at your own pace from here on in, and know that with every exhalation, the relaxation you're feeling in your body will double. And as your physical relaxation doubles, so too does your mental relaxation And you find yourself drifting easily and effortlessly deeper and deeper into hypnosis. And any outside noises you hear only helps you to focus more and more on my voice as you drift deeper and deeper into hypnosis. Just imagine for a moment that you are sitting or lying inside the basket of a large hot air balloon, and the balloon is slowly starting to fill up with helium. Just imagine the scene. Imagine yourself resting there inside the basket of a large balloon. If you can accept each detail of the scene as I have described it to you, without trying to think critically or analyze it, you'll find your imagination will be free to allow you to experience the situation just as though you are really there. Allow yourself now to relax in the bottom of that large wicker basket. The balloon above you is slowly filling up with helium. And imagine it's a beautiful summer day, the perfect temperature for you, and the balloon continues to fill. You can smell the sweet, fresh air of the surrounding meadow, laden with the gentle fragrance of wildflowers. You can almost hear the soft rustling of the grass around the basket. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the songs of the birds in the distance. Just take a moment to listen to the songs of the birds. As you feel the gentle breeze on your face and the warm sun on your skin, you begin to hear the steady hiss of helium being released from the tank. And now the balloon is nearly full, and it begins to pull at the ropes which hold it. Soon it will be released, and you'll feel yourself being carried up into the sky. And as you feel yourself carried up, your awareness, your consciousness, your vibrations will increase. The higher you go, the greater your awareness will become. And in a moment, I'm going to count up from 1 to 10. At the count of 1, the balloon will begin to rise, and with each count, will go higher and higher. As it does, your mind will expand along with it until it is able to contain and incorporate everything else within itself. And you are able to hold within your consciousness an awareness of the entire universe and all its beauty. Now the balloon is ready to be released, and as it is, I begin to count, and your consciousness begins to expand. 1, as the balloon slowly begins to rise, you begin to enter into a new and different state of awareness called hyperimperia. You begin to experience a very pleasant feeling of increased alertness and sensitivity. 2, you are beginning to enter into a higher level of consciousness now, one in which your ability to realize your full capacity for experience is greatly enhanced. You begin to experience a very pleasant exaltation in your ability to use your consciousness more effectively as your awareness continues to expand more and more. 3, As the balloon continues to rise, you feel the basket gently swaying in the breeze, rocking you back and forth as it does. You can hear the sound of the wind blowing in gentle bursts as you continue to float up and up. 4, your range of awareness is pleasantly expanded, and your perceptual abilities are becoming keener as you float on higher and higher. You continue to rise higher and higher. 5, you feel the balloon swaying in the breeze now as you continue to drift higher above the earth. The higher you go, the more your consciousness expands, the more pleasant it becomes. As you feel your consciousness expand more and more, you feel an ever-growing sense of joy and happiness as you experience all of your perceptual abilities being tuned to their highest possible pitch. It's a wonderful feeling of release now that you are going to feel. All your vast, untapped potential becomes free to its fullest possible functioning. 7, by the time I get to the count of 10, your potential for experience will be fully realized. Your perceptions, yes, your perceptions of the world around you will take on a new and different, deeper quality in greater depth of reality than anything you've experienced previously. 8, you feel yourself drifting into the stratosphere now, hanging on the very edge of space, feeling so safe and secure. Soon you'll be able to travel on by yourself into new dimensions of being with only my voice to guide you. 9, all the way up to the edge of space now, and ready to travel on by yourself into new dimensions of being. In just a few seconds, all your mental abilities will be attuned to the highest possible pitch as you unleash your full potential, and you will be able to experience infinitely better and concentrate infinitely better than you can in any other state of consciousness. 10, now you're ready. While you remain in the state of hyperimperia, the quality of your perceptions will be infinitely keener, and you'll be able to discern new and greater levels of reality, and your increased perception will enable you to unlock new realms of meaning and new dimensions of experience, greater and more profound than anything you've experienced previously. As I continue to talk, you begin to become aware of yourself going higher and higher, going up and up into hyperimperia, going up and up now, continuing to go higher with each word that I say. As you feel yourself going higher and higher, you begin to discover new and vast resources of energy being released within you. You feel these currents of energy and strength flowing through your entire body now, bathing your whole being in one vast, blissful wave of force and power. And the feeling now becomes clear and more intense as you begin to feel you're driving out every last vestige of anxiety and fear, leaving you refreshed and recharged. And as it begins to subside, as this wave recedes, it leaves you in possession of a boundless sense of confidence within yourself, as your ability to achieve the things you desire increases. You experience a firm and unshakable confidence in yourself and in all your abilities. All your fears and doubts have been driven away completely. And each time you enter the hyper-imperious state or the hypnotic state, you're able to discover vast new resources within yourself, which will enable you to deal much more effectively with anything life throws at you. You find all your mental abilities becoming clearer and sharper. Your memory constantly improves. You find that you are able to deal much more effectively with each new situation in life as it arises. You're able to deal clearly and accurately with every problem that comes your way. You arrive at decisions much more easily, in spite of the fact that you evaluate each new situation more thoroughly and much more completely than before. Each time you enter this state, you become aware of a vast improvement in your ability to think and to act decisively, with total confidence in yourself and in your ability to succeed in whatever you undertake. You're no longer upset or distressed by people or situations which formerly might have disturbed you, allowing yourself to face the future with confidence and happiness as you proceed along a sure and certain path toward the achievement of the goals which you have selected and the realization of the person that you wish to become as you unleash your infinite potential. And in a moment, you're going to come back down from hyperimperia. I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And on the count of 1, you'll be wide awake, feeling relaxed, refreshed, rejuvenated, and wonderful in every way. 5, you will take all the knowledge and insight with you when you awaken, so that you are well on your way to achieving your goals and unleashing your infinite potential. 4, feeling refreshed and relaxed. 3, feeling wonderful in every way. 2, becoming aware of the situation around you. And at the count of 1, your eyes will open and you will be fully aware, relaxed, rejuvenated, refreshed, and so full of energy. 1, fully aware, eyes open, take a deep breath, feeling wonderful in every way.
Wow, that was an amazing session. Wow, I'm still coming back. But yeah, that was
Glad you liked
totally
it.
new. For the first time, I've done such a hypnosis. Wow, I really want to do that again.
Yeah, I really
But
loved that one the first time I experienced it.
yeah, and it has, I really loved the script and all. Just by doing this, we can build a lot of confidence. And I love the way how when we move up and higher and out to that kind of conscious state, it's totally, I think it's about getting out of our brain, with all of those limiting beliefs, and then it's totally like going into that vast space. Wow, that was amazing. And I really love how, I was thinking, after we reach there, what's going to happen? And then started you saying about the confidence and letting go of fear and building all that, achieving our goals. Wow, I think just this, short 10-minute session, if someone does it every day, I think that itself, brings a lot of transformation in them. So my dear audience, there you go. You have an amazing, amazing gift. I'm going to do that again myself. And when I started off my journey as a healer, what helped me overcome all my, problems and challenges that I had in my life were such meditations and hypnosis. And I've had this, there was this YouTube channel where it was full of hypnosis, different hypnosis for, love, self-love, and and letting go the money barriers and so much more. That was my introduction to hypnosis and how much hypnosis can change our lives. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much.
Thank you.
I have
This
so
was a
much
great
more to talk.
experience. Yeah, I know. I'm really interested in your journey. Actually, we need to flip the camera and have you interviewed.
Sure, I'm planning for that one day. I've got some requests as well. It's like, okay, when are you gonna tell us about your journey?
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
someday I'm planning for that as well. And my dear viewers, you also, I'm gonna put Rashmi's link below, and you can click on that. You can
Thank
look
you.
at her hypnobirthing and lots of other services as well that she's offering. And you also have a 10% off discount coupon for your first booking with Rashmi. You can tell her the coupon code is 0 point. Oh, that was an amazing session, Rashmi.
I'm
Thank
glad.
you so
I'm so
much.
glad. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, my dear viewers, I'm going to meet you in the next show. Hope you really enjoyed it and you can make use of the hypnosis she did for us. I'm really telling you, if you do it, whatever kind of problems that you are at this point in your life, this hypnosis can actually help you, uncover your own true gifts and potentials that you have. With that said, I'm closing off. Any final words, Rashmi?
Well, just thank you, and everybody be safe, and we're healing the world together, bit by bit.
Yes, and you have help available, my dear friends. Reach out, check 0 Point Healing. There's so many different healers, and all of these healing modalities are here to help you achieve your dream life, achieve whatever it is that you want in this life. That's what all of these, the end goal of all healing modalities and all healers. That's the single statement of it all.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. So thank you, Rashmi. I'm ending that. I'll keep talking.
Thank
I
you.
don't stop.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear viewers. Bye bye for now.
Thank
I'll
you.
meet you in the next show.